Chapter 14, this chapter we're going to cover poultry and game. Distinguish between poultry and feathered game. Describe how game differs from domesticated animals. Explain poultry inspection and grading. And summarize the quality factors for carcasses and parts. Also outline the different categories of chicken. List several species of furred and feathered game. And also to differentiate between hare and rabbit. With poultry, this is birds. Birds have been domesticated for over 4,000 years. Poultry has a high protein content, is easier to raise and transport than cows and pigs. This just goes to the size factor here. It's considered a staple on most menus and even a staple worldwide. Poultry is collectively known as a term for domesticated birds that are bred for eating. It's also generally the least expensive of meats and most versatile of all main dish foods. So versatile, there's various ways to butcher poultry, and utilization of almost any cooking method makes it just the best versatile product overall. Poultry also has a mild flavor and is almost always tender as long as you don't super overcook this product. When buying and storing poultry, available from a variety of sources. You have broadline distributors to local merchants. Know your supplier and ensure their sanitary practices. Always buy from a reputable supplier. Poultry should be delivered at freezing or fresh products, or for fresh products, or hard frozen. Stay out of that temperature danger zone. You have to inspect for signs of temperature abuse. All right. Just like anything else that comes into your establishment, you need to check it, especially if it's potentially hazardous food, just like poultry or fish or shellfish. You need to take your meat thermometer and check the internal temp of that product. Poultry has a very short shelf life. Fresh chickens and small birds can be stored on ice or at 32 to 34 degrees for about 2 days. Frozen poultry should be held at 0 degrees and should not be held longer than 6 months. Frozen items should be thawed under refrigeration as well to ensure that we're keeping it as cold as possible. When storing your poultry, make sure that your poultry is always stored on the bottom and not above something that's ready to eat. Federal poultry inspection and grading. The USDA inspects all poultry before and after the kill. Inspection is mandatory, but grading is a voluntary system. Just like many other products with your grades, and if you have a grade of A, B, or C, this is going to determine shape of the bird, quality of the bird, freshness of the bird as well. Quality factors for carcasses and parts. Conformation. Appearance and shape is uniform throughout. Fleshing. The amount of flesh that the bird has. Fat covering. Pin feathers. If there's a lot of pin feathers left on your bird, then that's going to determine a lower grade as well. Exposed cuts, tears, or broken bones. That's going to denote the quality as well. Skin discoloration, blemishes, and bruises will also yield you a lower grade. Types of poultry eligible for grading. Types of poultry that may be graded are going to be your chicken, turkey, duck, goose, and guinea. Chickens produce two major protein sources, not only the meat itself, but also eggs. Their eggs are a great high source of protein. All right, many different forms and packaging styles when dealing with chicken. Turkey is popular as a deli meat and in whole bird roasters. Right, you can just use the breast. You can just get, think about Thanksgiving. How many whole turkeys are sold? Are they buying the whole turkey with everything still attached, or are they buying just the breast, or are they buying just a single breast? Um, a lot of different market forms there that's available. Feathered game refers to the remaining birds used in food service applications. We have wild turkey, goose, pheasant, duck, partridge, quail, and woodcock. Must be farm raised. Right? These also include free range birds as well. And when we talk about free range, it's exactly what it sounds like. These birds are left just kind of roaming the pastures. They're still in pens, but they have more of a wide range of motion than the caged birds. Wild birds may not be sold in the U.S. Buying and storing, game birds are available whole or pre-cut into pieces. You can get fresh, frozen, or canned. Anytime you go to purchase your poultry or game, you need to make sure that you're considering your menu items. Do you have somebody that can fabricate this bird? Are you going just for chicken wings? Are you going just for the breast? Are you going just for the leg, the thigh? Whatever it may be, right? It might not be beneficial for you to buy the whole bird. It might be beneficial for you to buy it already portioned out into the cuts that you're looking for. If you have numerous items on your menu where you're using that poultry, then the whole bird application might be something that benefits you in the long run, because you can get more bang for your buck out of utilizing that same bird. Factors affecting quality: age of the bird and manner of slaughter and packaging. Should have springy skin and no off odor. All right. To me, raw chicken, if it starts to get a little odor, it starts to give off an ammonia-like smell. In my opinion, I think poultry is one of the fastest things to give an off odor. Duck, very popular in European countries. Roughly 8 species of duck are available for food service. Roasting duck is used mostly in food service. Other ages are available, and some other breeds as well. Duck only has dark meat because it's a bird of flight. It's a flying bird. It's acceptable to cook breast meat to a medium rare or a medium, so it's okay to have that reddish, pinkish tint inside of the meat. There's a high percentage of bone to meat. Has the same structure as chicken, but the breasts are a lot thinner. Large percentage of fat in the skin that must be rendered off when you do like a pan-seared duck breast. You've really got to render that skin, or it becomes too chewy. Various forms available. You have the broiler, fryer, or roaster duckling. Then you also have a mature duck. With goose has a large percentage of very fatty skin as well, right? Even more than duck. Very little breast meat is on a goose. Popular in Europe and in the U.S. on Christmas and New Year's. This bird also has only dark meat, and it's because a bird that flies. Taste is gamier and has more fat than a duck. Usually cooked at a high temperature to really render the fat out of the product. You're almost confit in this, because confit means to cook in its own fat. This animal has so much fat involved with it that you're almost basically cooking it in its own fat, like a confit style. Roasted goose is popular at the holidays and is often served with an acidic fruit-based sauce to help cut the fatty flavor. Goose is available as young or as a mature goose. Guinea, Guinea is a smaller bird with a gamier taste. Originated in Africa, has lean meat, sold as whole birds. Right, available as young or mature Guinea products as well. Partridge. This is a game bird that is available in several regions of the world. Available frozen and not native to the U.S. It's very plump, has white gamey flesh and white meat, prepared by roasting or by broiling. This is a pheasant, which is a mild flavored bird, prepared roasted, stewed, or even braised. These are raised on farms, available frozen or fresh in some locations. Most weigh between 1.5 to 2.25 pounds, sold as a dish for usually 2 people. This is actually a beautiful feathered bird. All right, very, very pretty, very, very nice colors. Pigeon. Young pigeon is commercially referred to as squab. Has dark meat and is well suited for broiling, sauteing, or roasting. Squab is flightless and can be very expensive. Has dark meat and is well suited for the broiling, roasting, and sauteing. Small tender bird, often purchased head on and feed on. Squab has very little fat, so it will benefit from barding, which is basically trussing or putting fat on top of that product. Related to the pheasant, weighs 3 to 7 ounces in total. Uh, this is tender enough to be grilled or cooked with any dry heat methods. It may also be stuffed and sold whole or in boneless quarters. Furred game. Furred game refers to wild animals that are rarely available from commercial wholesalers. Game meat has dark color and strong in taste. The age of the animal and the cut of the meat are determining factors when choosing cooking methods. A little history on the game. Animals that are hunted for sport or for food. These are non-domesticated animals. Traditionally, game supplies were dependent on the season and the hunter's skill. In most states, laws will forbid the sale of wild game. Due to the popularity, game is being farm raised with success, and farm raised game is going to differ from wild game because of the feed and the ages of the animal. With a wild game, say you go out and shoot a deer, you don't necessarily know the age of the animal, and you don't know what it's been eating. If it's been foraging on nuts and acorns, a lot of the times that's going to yield a gamier, stronger flavored meat. Buying and storing, available from specialty wholesalers during hunting season, also from farms. Purchase only from licensed, inspected purveyors. Before purchasing, find out the animal age, the treatment, and how long it was hung before processing. The life of the animal is seen in the appearance, the aroma, the flavor, and texture of their flesh. The meat is compact with a robust flavor and has less fat. When compared to domesticated animals, but part of this is that game meats have not been subject to animal husbandry. So moving on to some of the different types of games, we have antelope. Antelope, this animal is the size of a large deer, raised on farms, similar to deer meat, and normally cooked using recipes and techniques for deer meat as well. All right, with all game nutrition, this is misleading because breeding of domesticated animals have produced meat that is marbleized. All right, the marbleization is the flecks of fat inside of the meat that, as it renders out, is not only going to yield us some good flavor, but also keep the meat juicy. Most farm-raised animals that are generally more active and less well-fed than domesticated animals tend to be lower in cholesterol and have approximately 1/3 fewer calories than beef. Wild boar. This is considered a large furred game animal. Um, this is the wild cousin of domesticated pigs. Only available in autumn. Farm boar is available year-round. This has a stronger flavor than pork because it's not a controlled feed. It's foraging on grasses, on acorns and nuts and things like that. The meat is actually going to be a different color as well. It's going to be more of a purple color than it is going to be that pinkish, light reddish color that we associate with our commercial pork. Can be used in any recipe calling for pork or venison. This is sold as a young or mature animal. Buffalo, or bison, known as the American buffalo. This is a large animal native to the U.S. The meat is very lean. This is a big animal, and it's kind of surprising to see such a big animal that's so lean. All right, but the meat is very lean and nutritious. It's lower in cholesterol because it is so lean, lower in fat and calories than beef or chicken. Most of the buffalo in the U.S. is farm raised today. Very, very, very few and very rare times that you see non-farm raised buffalo. Buffalo is going to taste like beef, all right, but it's going to be richer and sweeter. It's almost going to be a little bit more wild flavor. It's going to have a little bit more of that gaminess going along with it. Beefalo, this is kind of a relatively new thing, cross between buffalo and domesticated cattle. All right, looks and tastes more like beef than buffalo. The meat is very lean and dark with slightly stronger flavor than beef. Can be cooked using any beef recipe and is available through specialty retailers. Deer, also known as venison. Venison is any meat from moose, elk, red-tailed deer, or white-tailed deer. Available from wild sources and farm-raised animals. Meat is dark red and leaner than beef with almost no marbling. Available in many market forms, available in the loin section, leg section, and rack cuts. A lot of times, if you live down south, a lot of people, or around people that hunt, they clean their own animal, or they butcher their own animal. A lot of the times, the loin section, you'll hear people call the back straps. Hare and rabbits, these are more of your smaller animal, or smaller furred animals. Rabbits are available from wild or farm-raised sources. A hare can weigh up to 14 pounds. Rabbits, usually between 3 and 5. So your question on this chapter, how big is a hare and how big is a rabbit? A hare has darker meat than a rabbit and must be marinated. Rabbit is available whole or in cuts. Normally most people will buy them whole. Summary of this chapter. All right, the most popular forms of poultry are chicken and turkey. Fresh poultry has a short shelf life, and poultry inspection is mandatory and may also be graded. There are various quality factors that affect the grading. Feathered game include duck, goose, pheasant, quail, guinea, partridge, and pigeon. Types of furred game include deer, antelope, buffalo, beefalo, wild boar, rabbit, and hare. Know your supplier when buying game. Buy your products from a nice, reputable supplier. Uh, uh, you know, you're not just going to go to some guy down at the local food mart who's saying that he's selling some wild boar and just purchase your products from him. It's not a smart idea.